In Season 11 of When Calls the Heart, school teacher Elizabeth Thornton embarks on a fresh start with new romance, new challenges, and new style. She and Mountie Nathan Grant navigate their growing romantic feelings while also leaning on each other for support as they face new parenting obstacles. Newly elected Governor Lucas Bouchard must confront his past in order to embrace his strengths and lead Hope Valley into the future. Retired Mountie Bill Avery and newspaper reporter Rosemary Coulter team up to unravel a mystery putting their entire community at risk. This season explores renewal, redemption, and of course romance as Hope Valley enters the 1920s. Lucas's arrival back in Hope Valley sparked a significant response. Even after a lot of changes, Lucas still enjoyed making a big impression and surprising people. On When Calls the Heart Season 11 Episode 3, his return startled a few residents, including Nathan and Elizabeth, who had become accustomed to their new normal. Bill, meantime, was committed to demonstrating Montague's involvement in Lucas's attack, but there appeared to be another suspicious person in the area. Although it's clear that Nathan and Elizabeth still have feelings for one another, it gets annoying that every time their relationship progresses, Lucas has to make a new declaration. If Lucas's other role is the thorn in their developing relationship, it will get old. Rosemary and Lee implied that Lucas was still in love with Elizabeth, while everyone else seemed to be rooting for Nathan. Elizabeth doesn't actually require a love interest. Although it's okay for her to be friends with both men and concentrate on herself, since she's the main character, many viewers root for her to succeed. Regardless of Lucas, they both need to acknowledge their desires if now is the right time for her to find happiness with Nathan. The focus of the program was Lucas. However, the entertainment value fell short of expectations. Although it would have been fun to watch Bill and Rosemary collaborate, Bill completed the majority of the work on his own. Given that Rosemary was an investigative journalist and knew where he was and who he suspected, he didn't initially give her enough credit. Rosemary wanted to speak with Montague and was concerned about getting the facts straight. Montague wasn't playing that game when Rosemary sought to use her journalism abilities to determine whether he was close to the crime site. Despite the evidence to the contrary, Bill seemed certain that Montague was the mastermind behind this attack. It was becoming harder to determine who had shot Lucas and who had driven the getaway vehicle. Clearly, there was a co-conspirator who had something to conceal. Bill and Rosemary were so preoccupied with Montague that they failed to give Edwin, another suspect, any thought. When Bill and Nathan wanted to increase security, it was him who ended the probe. Given that Montague put in a bid for the resort and claimed to have learned about it from Rosemary, Edwin also appeared to be related to Montague. I think the two men are working together. There must be a reason Edwin never disclosed to Lucas that the land where the resort is to be constructed is owned by Benson Hills. Perhaps Edwin wanted to turn a profit. Though I'm not sure what his true intentions are yet, I hope that someone becomes wary of him as well. Although the blurb suggested that Mike and Mai's milestone was more important than a 5-month anniversary, they have been the pair to follow and cheer for during When Calls the Heart Season 11. These two are uncomfortably charming and incredibly cute. How come they haven't shared an official kiss after dating for 5 months? They made such an effort to arrange a romantic evening, so it was both funny and upsetting that they kept getting in the way. Mike and Mai are no longer even able to leave the group since they have assimilated so deeply. They need some alone time, and viewers need to see more of their romance on film, if they are going to be the couple that gets married this season. When Tony was having trouble with math, Elizabeth demonstrated that she was the kind of instructor he needed. Even though some teachers these days may provide some help, they nevertheless insist on the grade. Teaching at the gold standard was what Elizabeth did. She was concerned enough to investigate the problem's origin. She was prepared to try various teaching strategies with Toby until they found one that worked, though I'm not sure if they were diagnosing learning problems at the time. That's all a child needs sometimes, to avoid feeling foolish or that it's his fault. Toby needed a break from school, so she agreed to have all the kids skip class for Lucas's picture session. I wish they had given more attention to the women running the daycare in Faith and Lily's bond. Elizabeth and Rosemary are both employed, and additional parents are also required. It would have been interesting to watch them build the child care facility, similarly to how Elizabeth and the kids changed the library in Season 6 of When Calls the Heart. What's lacking this season is witnessing these tiny beats. I wish not to be informed about the daycare facility. I want to watch the good times happen. Lily's narrative needs more attention if she hopes to stay there. She is a young child who is disoriented. She doesn't understand why she doesn't have an aunt, because she noticed that the other kids have one. Season 11 of When Calls the Heart doesn't have the same magic as earlier seasons. It has grown overly fixated on politics. Although viewers were interested in seeing Lucas's political career and Lucas required a tale, it isn't as strong this season. The setting of Hope Valley is a little village. That is a component of the show's magic. The scenes in Steps Forward that feature Mike and Mai or The Kids Are the Greatest. They represent Hope Valley's and the show's future.